Fast food workers are losing their jobs in California as a new minimum wage law is set to take effect. Hey folks, how's it going? In this video, I want to talk about something that I and many other preppers have talked about on our channels many times, and that is the unintended consequences of these $15 and $20 and $25 an hour minimum wage demands. We've seen over the past couple of years that people have been demanding a minimum wage of at least $15 and in some cases $20, and here recently we've even seen one person at least calling for a $50 minimum wage, $50 an hour minimum wage. And we're already starting to see the effect of the $15 to $20 an hour minimum wage hike. This article comes out of USA Today, but it discusses a major factor that those of us on the conservative side, or even in general anybody that looks at the economy through a realistic cause and effect lens, something that we've been talking about. Democrats and the extreme left, they've been demanding a minimum wage of $15 to $20 an hour or more in some cases, under the assumption that if you boost everybody's minimum wage, then everybody's going to be living a better lifestyle. We're going to have more money to spend, and it'll lift people out of poverty. What that fails to take into account, though, is the fact that in order to pay that higher minimum wage, the money has to come from somewhere. And of course, most Democrats, most people on the left think that, well, that should just come out of the big corporate pocket. Anybody that owns a company, you should just pay that out of your own pocket. But what people don't realize is that changes like that, increased costs like that, always, and I do mean always, get passed on to the consumer through a variety of ways. Namely, price increases on their product, but also on the job market, because they'll start cutting hours, they'll start laying people off, they'll start cutting benefits, because companies have to do whatever they can to, or what the companies will do, I should say, whatever they can to maintain their profit margin. And in terms of these larger multi-million-dollar companies, these big corporations, they have a board of investors, and that they have to respond to, that they have to answer to. These investors, these shareholders, by law, they're protected, and the company has to pay them a certain amount of money in profitability. If that company starts to fail to earn money, it fails to be profitable, then it has to answer to the shareholders, it has to answer to the investors, and in some cases, it even has to answer to SEC regulations and government. So the first thing any company is going to do is cut whatever expense they can to maintain their bottom line, maintain their profit margin. And one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive part of running a business, ask anybody that owns a business or has started a business, they will tell you the most expensive part of running a business is the employees. From not only the wages, but what the company has to pay in on Social Security and Medicare. What you pay out of your paycheck is only half of what has to be paid. The company that you work for pays an equal amount into Social Security on your behalf. So there's that. You've got workman's compensation, insurance that they have to carry. You've got liability insurance that your company has to carry. And there's just a lot of expense associated with employees, with the workforce. But I'm getting a little off track here. I want to read this article for a little bit, just to reinforce what I and many other preppers have talked about for years now, that these demands for a higher minimum wage are going to come at a cost. It's going to cost jobs, and it's going to cost higher prices on products. Now, fast food workers are losing their jobs in California as new minimum wage law takes effect. Among the chains announcing cuts ahead of a $4 increase to the minimum wage in California are Pizza Hut and Round Table Pizza. The state's minimum wage will rise to $20 an hour on April 1st. Fast food workers are losing their jobs in California as more restaurant chains prepare to meet a new $20 minimum wage set to go into effect next week. Restaurants making cuts are mostly pizzerias, according to a report published by the Wall Street Journal. Multiple businesses have plans to axe hundreds of jobs, as well as cut back hours and freeze hiring, the report shows. That's what we've been talking about. They're going to cut jobs, they cut back hours, so you're going to have more part-time people, and they're going to freeze hiring. This is really going to hurt people that are struggling to make a living. And for those that think that you can simply hike the minimum wage and everything will be fine and dandy, that's not the case. That's not how it actually works. Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom signed the FAST Act back in September to require fast food chains with 60 or more locations nationwide to meet that wage increase after labor unions fought for it alongside the healthcare industry, which will also see a boost to earnings in June. This is a big deal, Newsom said, alongside union members in September. That's 80% of the workforce. Layoffs began last year. Pizza Hut announced cuts to more than 1,200 delivery jobs in December. Previous reporting by USA Today shows some Pizza Hut franchises in California also filed notices with the state saying they were discontinuing their delivery services entirely, according to Fox Business. Where select California franchisees have elected to make changes to their staffing approach, access to delivery service will continue to be available via Pizza Hut's mobile app, website, and phone ordering, and the customer ordering experience will remain consistent, a Pizza Hut spokesperson told USA Today on Wednesday. Excalibur Pizza, a franchisee of Round Table Pizza, has plans to cut 73 driver jobs in April, which amounts to 21% of its workforce, the company confirmed with USA Today on Wednesday. The franchisee is transferring their delivery services to third party. While it is unfortunate, we look at this as a transfer of jobs, a company rep told USA Today. As you know, many California restaurant operators are following the same approach due to rising operating costs. All right, so even though while it is unfortunate, we look at this as a transfer of jobs. So while they are eliminating jobs, they're looking at it as no jobs are lost because delivery services, presumably Uber Eats and DoorDash and what have you, will pick up the slack. No exemptions, Newsom says. The legislation indicated that businesses that feature ice cream, coffee, boba tea, pretzels, or donuts could meet the definition of a fast food restaurant covered by the law, according to the National Law Review's breakdown of the bill. The law could extend to similar businesses that provide things like sweets and drinks. Okay, so that would cover every type of restaurant. I mean, think about it. Can you think of any restaurant that doesn't offer drinks or some sort of dessert? So this could easily apply to any restaurants or food business. Greg Flynn, who has monopoly over Panera franchises in California, tried to get out of the state's new mandate earlier this year. According to Bloomberg, holding fast to a loophole that restaurants making in-house bread do not have to boost employee earnings. Newsom's office called the claim absurd, telling the Los Angeles Times that that the restaurant chain would see no such exemption. Chipotle's CFO told Yahoo Finance that the company will be forced to increase their prices to comply with the minimum wage increase. Again, that's going to be one of the results of these types of laws. Starbucks told the outlet it is evaluating the impact of the FAST Act, but did not comment on whether or not it would comply. It is unclear whether or not the franchise would be considered a fast food restaurant under the new legislation. Starbucks is committed to at least a 3% increase to wages that went into effect on January 1st, according to a statement put out by the company. The coffee chain did recently close 7 of its stores in the state of California, USA Today previously reported. That is going to be a trend that you're going to see a lot of. As this minimum wage law takes effect, you're going to see people laid off. You're going to see hours cut back. Because part-time employees, you don't have to offer them certain benefits, so that actually is a bonus to companies switching to more of a part-time employee system. They don't have to pay into all these high insurance premiums. You're also going to see several companies or several restaurants close as a result of this. While they may not close all of their restaurants, they will most likely close at least a few, or they'll start closing the underperforming stores or restaurants in their area. And I'm going to presume that this will start with California, because this law is taking effect there now. I'm not sure what other states I'm not sure what other states have similar laws that are going to take effect. But understand there was a representative from California that was talking about increasing the minimum wage to $50 an hour. So if a $4 increase to $20 an hour is going to have this effect on restaurants, and it hasn't even taken effect yet, it's only due to take effect in the next week. Imagine what a minimum wage increase of $50 an hour would do to not just restaurants, but every business. Because then a low wage job, an entry level job that you would normally expect, and understand this, fast food jobs are typically for inexperienced or low-skill employees, primarily as a source for teenagers and young adults to start gaining on-the-job experience as they're finishing up high school and going into college. Fast food restaurants were never meant to be a career path as far as high-income earners. So if you take a low-wage, entry-level type job like McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, what have you, and you bump that minimum wage up to $20 an hour, let's just stick with that for right now, and then you take a more skilled job like a production technician that works on an automated production line making $18, $20, $21 an hour, then you're going to have to bump that person up to be an equivalent amount just so that they maintain the value of that job and their skill set. Otherwise, you'll have people flipping burgers getting paid the same amount as somebody who's taken production training classes at tech schools. So, you know, if you raise up the lowest level a certain amount, you're going to have to increase the pay rate of every level above that. And it's just going to cause a chain reaction. Then everything is going to become much, much more expensive. as a result, because the only way to pay these wages is to increase the price of the product that these companies are putting out, increase the cost of the service that they're providing. So this is going to result, again, obviously, higher prices on products and services. More people are going to lose their jobs, so the unemployment rate is probably going to go up. If it doesn't, it's going to be because these people immediately turned around and found other jobs. It's going to result in people getting their hours cut from full-time to part-time, in which case they may have to go out and get a second job, or they may quit their job and go find a new job. So this is just going to have a snowball effect on the economy, because as all of this is happening, again, these prices are going up, and then if all of these costs go up after the wage increase takes effect, then we're going to be right back where we started at. People are going to be complaining that they're not making enough money to earn a living, that everything's so expensive they need more money. And then you give them more money, then the price of things are going to go up, and people will complain about they need more money because everything's gotten more expensive. You see, this creates a never-ending cycle here. And unfortunately, this is just the beginning of this. There's going to be a lot more of this. This is just a drop in the bucket. Pizzerias are probably going to be the first, simply because their product line and because of the employees they have. Again, it's not a really skilled job set. You don't have people going to trade school or going to college to get degrees or certifications in how to make a pizza or how to deliver a pizza. This will quickly move to other restaurants like McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, all the usuals. And from there, it's going to spread into the dine-in restaurants, you know, O'Charlie's, Applebee's, all of those different ones, Olive Garden, all those restaurants are going to be affected by it as well. And unfortunately, it won't stop there, because as it hits the restaurant industry, this will eventually expand into all job markets, all industries across the board. So this is, again, every day we're seeing more reasons why you need to be prepping, building networks of people that you can barter with, because your job may not be secure. And no matter how simple it is, and no matter how secure you think your job might be, it's not secure. You are always replaceable. Your job can always be cut. Understand that your employer can always replace you. And automation is going to become a major factor in this as wage increases climb. Employers are going to look more and more at automation to take over simple, basic tasks. So that's another aspect of this that you need to be prepared for. That's all I've got for this video. I appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. And as always, folks, stay safe, take care, keep prepping, don't get complacent. And until next time, I'll catch you later.